I'm Matt Mckibbin. I'm a founder of Decentranet, Decentranet, Ubiquity, a bunch of other companies. My main project right now that I'm really focused on is we're going to be creating a special economic zone in Honduras to create a virtual jurisdiction, to create a framework for governance dApps, as well as governance regulations. We can write our regulations from the ground up to provide people there and then hopefully around the world with frameworks for startup societies and charter cities. Special economic zones have been ways that parent countries have been able to experiment with their economic rules since they've been existed. For example, in China, 400 million people have been brought out of poverty because they've zoned for more economic prosperity. On the next layer of that, Hong Kong, Dubai, Singapore are these special economic zones but have arbitration and international business law, British common law, and they can protect the environment and not only do business with the rest of the world. What we're doing here is they've been doing ZEDI frameworks for special economic zones down in Honduras for about 10 years. They've created the best polycentric legal people in the world, a committee of blockchain and legal minds to say, what if we had a special economic zone where we could write our regulations from the ground up? What would you do? How would you create it? And what would be the prosperity that would emerge? So with ours, we want to now include that virtual jurisdiction to have a business, registration dApp, an identity dApp. If you were going to build your own jurisdiction from scratch, you sure as hell are not going to have a DMV, right? The DMV is not something we need. We need an identity application. We need a land titling application. So there's those. And then we can go ahead and take a look at other regulations that maybe in the United States, the FAA. You can't have flying autonomous drones taking us from one place to another because the FAA has tons of regulations that don't allow us to experiment easily here. So in our zone, we don't want to have roads. We want to have flying autonomous drones that pick us up from the airport, and it's a series of islands as well as environmental sustainability, restorative environment. So we have an algae farm that will produce energy and a number of other things that actually cools the water and helps protect the coral there. So if you can design your jurisdictions from the ground up with the best types of regulations and technologies, what would you do? And then we really want to help the rest of the world have those types of frameworks. The funding is actually something that we're still going to be working on. We're going to get a number of very intentional investors that want to help purchase the real estate there and create an intentional community of innovators and outposts for different types of governance structures. And then blockchain is involved in a number of different ways. We can disintermediate central parties from having to register our property, from having to do our identity, as well as the fundraising, of course. Our ICOs are all over the place. With our token specifically, we're going to create a securitization of the commercial real estate leases of the properties. So you have a stable token or liquidity enhanced security that is representative of the jurisdiction of revenue streams, not just a market network and a lot of speculators will fluctuate the price. It's based on real revenue streams on there. So we want to design the best applications or a framework for the best decentralized applications to plug into our societal infrastructure, our OS, our governance OS. What you can do is go on to decentranet.com and sign up for our email list. The name and everything of the company that's going to be down there is still under wraps and in stealth mode. And when we discover it, we'll email it to our Decentranet emails. We'll be a main partner amongst many that will be down there working together.